Laurie Strode's basement isn't a... Wait, what is it? It's not a... Oh, wait. All right, let me start over. Laurie Strode's basement isn't a cage. It's a trap. This is Spooky Spoilers.
This is Spoiler.
That was hard to say. We had a hard time coming up with a spoiler for that one. Joining me tonight, I'm Pappy, your host from Denver, Colorado, here to talk about the new 2018 Halloween movie. Joining me is Money Mikey Tor. How's it going, Mikey?
Good. How are you, Pap?
Not
We also got somebody else here today, too.
superhero correspondent back for the first time in a long time. They call him PK. What's up, man?
Yo, yo, yo. It is... Oh, man, it's great to be back. It's been too long. I'm actually back home right now in South Bend. Represent.
Shout out. I know you love the Halloween movies, right, PK?
Oh, yeah. It's more of a... I got a big Michael Myers... I'm a big Michael Myers fan, so... I was looking forward to this one.
Groovy, baby. Mikey, we were talking before. Had you seen any of them? Any of the Halloweens?
I've seen the first one and none of the others, and there's a lot of other
There are
Halloween
so
movies.
many Halloween movies.
Pat, have you seen them all?
I've seen all of them, like, at least partially. I haven't seen, like, the third one all the way through because it has nothing to do with Michael Myers. And then I think the Halloween, like, 6, I haven't seen all the way through. The one with Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd's in a Halloween?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ant-Man?
Baby Paul Rudd.
Ant-Man versus Michael Myers.
So this is a
Yeah.
superhero movie.
All right. Well, let's get started because I think this should be a decent episode for us. The movie's killing it at the box office, right? Like it's making a ton of money. It seems to be reviewed pretty well too. I think it's got like an 88% or something on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's start with you, Pat. What did you think of this adaptation of Halloween?
I definitely think it's at least the second best behind the first one, or like the next best behind the first one. They definitely brought it back to its roots, being like a more small and kind of a simple story, and just taking place in the little hometown like Haddonfield. And yeah, they brought the gruesome brutality of Michael Myers back. He was creepy and scary again. He wasn't kind of over fantasized as this like supernatural thing. They just kind of made him, I mean, they play on that still, but at the end of the day, he's just a fucking menacing force of a human being, and I think they did really well with that. So I liked it.
Did the lore upset you at all? Because they totally retcon basically everything except for the first one and maybe the second, right?
Yeah, they took out everything but the first one. So that this is a direct
Smart
sequel
move.
to Halloween 1978, which I wasn't bothered by it. Like most of the sequels are pretty trash anyway, so
True.
I was okay with it.
I think even like Jamie Lee Curtis is pretty happy about that, too, from what I
Yeah, I
understand.
just think it just makes no sense if you actually try to go back and watch the other ones, because
Well, that's
she's
what,
his brother, she kills him, she's not his brother, she kills him again. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
Rob Zombie shows up. It's actually they wanted to do this with Alien Covenant too, but that ended up falling through to get rid of everything after Aliens. And start off with a new sequel with Sigourney Weaver, but that fell through. This was directed by David Gordon Green, and he helped write it along with Danny McBride of Eastbound and Down fame. And like you guys mentioned it, Jamie Lee Curtis comes back. I actually kind of wanted to break this down by characters, kind of go through each one, and then kind of talk about the story through each character, because I think that we really have like three major protagonists here. So let's start with Laurie Strode. Mikey, what did you think of crazy cat lady Laurie Strode in this movie?
This is Jamie Lee Curtis, and she's back as Laurie Strode. She is like totally paranoid. She's like, she's got a bunch of guns in her basement. She's got booby traps all over her property. She's got cameras set up everywhere. She's just super paranoid that Mike Myers is going to break out and come back after her. So she's super precautious and very prepared in case anything goes sideways. So she's kind of like living out in the sticks all by herself, and she's kind of separated herself from her family. She's got a daughter and a granddaughter. Who's her daughter? Is it Judy Greer?
No.
Is that her name?
Andy Matchak. Allison was the character. Matchak? I have no idea.
Yeah, she's got a daughter that I guess she's had taken away by CPS and stuff. So because of the way she was raising her, which was like survival skills and building bombs and shooting guns and stuff. So she got her child taken away from her, and then they've been kind of separated for a while, and they're kind of like on not great terms.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's just not a great mom, but she, like, her whole deal is that she prepared her daughter for like the worst the world has to offer. So she was like fine with that as like her cross to bear. So she's just a paranoid grandma in this movie.
Pat, what did you think of the way she's introduced? These two guys, or I guess it's two podcast reporters. I don't know who starts a podcast nowadays.
Shout out the podcast.
Yeah, losers. Anyway, they come to like do this investigative journalism. I would imagine like serial style podcast about the Michael Myers murders, and it's like it ends up being like a big chunk of the movie. I mean, it might be 15, 20 minutes of an intro. What'd you think about that whole plot and then their ultimate demise?
I thought it was a good way to, kind of reintroduce this franchise and kind of tie up some loose ends. And I honestly, from the trailers, I thought they'd be in the movie a little bit longer.
Same, yeah.
Besides the girl, because you kind of see her murder scene in the trailer, but I think bringing them in as like podcasters is kind of a way to bring it into this generation, which was kind of funny. And then I don't know, I think it was cool just them being really excited about the case and really wanting to talk to Laurie Strode and see what her side of the story is and how she honestly wants nothing to do with it. She's like, yeah, I'll get a quick $3,000 or whatever they offer her, and you could just tell she's just totally shut down. She doesn't want to talk to anybody about it because they're trying to figure out what the motive is behind it. And she's like, there is no motive. He's just a killer. He's just evil. What more do you need to know? So I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm.
The opening scene where they go and try to talk to him and make him talk, I thought that was pretty intense.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been talked about a lot. They have the giant, checkerboard, and it was a shot in the trailer too, and Michael Myers is like chained to a rock, and then you're not supposed to step over the line or something, or he'll get you. And then they're also talking about like you gotta tie your shoelaces. It kind of reminds me of Silence of the Lambs when she's walking by all those other inmates. Mikey, did you pick up on this though? So like when those two podcasters are getting killed, it's a weird like chain of events. Like the woman podcaster is going to the bathroom, and Michael Myers comes in and starts to like attack her, and then the dude runs in to stop Michael Myers, and then the girl gets a knife, but she just hides in the stall. Meanwhile, the dude's like getting his head crushed in against the bathroom door. I'm like, why is she not helping him?
One of them could have at least escaped.
Yeah.
They just didn't. I don't know. The girl definitely had a chance when the guy got like thrown into a corner or something, and Mike was distracted, and she could have like crawled underneath the bathroom. But I thought the build up to that scene was really good because you could see Mike's figure in the background of a lot of shots like leading up to it while the guy's getting gas and the girl's walking to the bathroom and stuff. He's like in reflections in a lot of shots and stuff throughout the whole movie, actually.
My favorite was she walks by, asking where the bathroom is, and like, there's like a split second shot you see of Michael Myers in the background, is like You see him beating the shit out of somebody. It's just like real fast. It was really funny.
There's a lot of that stuff going on throughout the whole movie. Yeah, I thought that was a really cool scene, but I was super surprised that the podcasters died so early. They didn't seem to be in the movie very much. And I kind of thought the movie was going to be about them, honestly.
I don't even know if the one guy died. I think he was just like so fucked up he couldn't even do anything. I don't know if he actually died or not.
Yeah. So we started to talk about Michael Myers a little bit. Nick Castle, he reprised his role for the scenes where Michael Myers isn't in his mask. Like, you don't really see his face, but you kind of see his profile, like the back of his head. He's just like this old dude with grandpa strength, I guess, just ready to get out there and beat some ass. And then you had James Jude Courtney, who's doing more of the moving acting for The Shape. They take Michael Myers and they really make him more of a human character. Like I said, they retcon out the fact that, like, they say that he was actually arrested shortly after that scene in the first one where he disappears after falling off the balcony, which is referenced here. Pat, did it bother you at all that they made him more human in this one?
It didn't bother me because I think I'm kind of like, I'm over the whole demonic possession type horror movies that we only get now. So I was excited to get back to like the old school, like slasher type films. And I don't know, I think I wasn't bothered by it, but I think it might have made it a little less scary, at least to me. Like seeing him without the mask, even though you don't see his full face. And also like, I think part of what made it less scary to me is also what made it like almost more cool. Like the tracking shot where they follow him through a couple houses and you actually see him sneaking up on people. Like, that was badass. But it also made it a little bit less scary to me just because
you see everything.
You see his process and everything, but also it doesn't really matter because he was super menacing and brutal, and he was scary throughout the movie. But no, it didn't bother me that they just made him a real person, because at the end of the day, that's what he was. That's what makes it terrifying. If you really think about it, it's just a guy deciding to kill a bunch of random people on one night.
Was that tracking shot the one where he doesn't kill the baby, or is that a different one?
Yeah.
What's up with that? Michael Myers doesn't hurt babies, just horny teenagers.
He's got standards.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Man has to have standards.
So that's The Shape. This was almost the spoiler. You basically have a new knockoff Dr. Loomis in this one. So he like has like the big twist in the movie. What's his motivation? He's so into studying Michael Myers, he doesn't want anything to happen to him.
Of course they're moving a bunch of people to this prison on Halloween night, and Mike is one of them. And so this guy is Mike's doctor, and so his reasoning was he's going to ride with Mike all the way to the end until he's not his patient anymore. So that's why he's on the bus. But the bus crashes, so I don't know if we're supposed to suspect Mike did it or this doctor caused some mayhem on the bus.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Could have been the doctor.
But yeah, the bus crashes and then everybody escapes. And then the doctor is left on the bus, and then the cop shows up. And there's a kid and his dad show up, and the kid finds the doctor and shoots him real quick. And then a cop shows up and then kind of saves the doctor.
Officer Hawkins, the name of the cop, played by Will Patton.
I guess he's supposed to be a recurring character too, or something.
Yeah, they're saying he was like the first one to show up on scene in the original, even though it's not the same guy. But
yeah,
I think part of the doctor's motivation too is like when he ends up like turning and killing the cop, which was like kind of like a what the fuck. It wasn't like a oh shit. It was more of a what the fuck moment. Like I don't get it. But
yeah, I did not get it.
He like after he does it, he kind of was like he's kind of like now I know what it feels like. So I think it was kind of like he wanted to know what it felt like to kill somebody and like maybe he would understand Michael more. But at the same time, it's like there's much better ways to go about it. He's kind of crazy.
Killing somebody.
Very hands-on approach.
I don't know. I think that was a kind of a strange choice, especially because they didn't go anywhere with it. Like Michael Myers kills him like right after that. So it's kind of just like a random choice it didn't really like take away from the movie for me. It just kind of was like, okay,
Well,
that was weird.
when they did that, are they like kind of saying that the mask is like the whole deal to this killer or something? Because
Kinda.
he went crazy just to put on this mask. And then somehow Mike didn't die because he got hit by the car, so he throws him in the back of this car and waits for him to put on this mask again. I don't know. I think the mask is supposed to be a key to something. I don't know. Or maybe it just sets Michael off.
Yeah, I was watching a review and they're talking about the beginning scene where like the guy holds up the mask, and as soon as he holds up the mask, like all the other patients started freaking out.
Yeah.
And like going crazy, and that's kind of where that plays along the fine line of, is he human? Is he like pure evil, like in body form, like they say he is? But maybe it is something to do with the mask.
This movie's definitely going to get a sequel too, so I wouldn't be surprised if even the mask could be some kind of mechanism for like rebooting it with a different guy in the mask. But just going down the list here then, so we talked about Jamie Lee Curtis. The three main protagonists, it's really kind of a generational story, 3 generations of women. Reminds me a little bit of Hereditary, but so Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter is Judy Greer, and a lot like Hereditary 2, she's been kind of messed up by her upbringing from her crazy mom. She doesn't have a lot to do in this movie, the mom character, until the end. And doesn't she have like some like epic shot on Michael Myers or something like out of nowhere? Like her character all of a sudden becomes badass.
Yeah, I think it was like I think that was part of her, her growing up. She, like, right at the end,
Or training.
She kind of tricked Michael. Yeah, she pretended like, she couldn't do it, and she was, like, freaking out, and then he was like, oh, yeah, dude, I'm gonna take advantage of this. And then as soon as he pops out, she snaps out of it, and she's like, gotcha, bitch. But I don't know. I think she did pretty well, because it made sense that she would hate her mom for that, because she didn't get to live a normal childhood and everything. But at the end of the day, when shit hit the fan, like, she knows her mom was right, especially in the moment, at least.
I like that scene. I thought it was like a cool, because it looked pretty dire, because Mike was like standing at the top of the stairs and they're in that trap basement that we find out. But
I think the best part of that scene though was the shot of like right after or right before she shoots him. I think it like goes up the stairs and past Michael Myers, and you see Laurie Strode's face coming out of the shadows, kind of like reminiscing on the first one where he does that to her, and she's just like, "Happy Halloween, Michael." It's like, oh,
my whole
man,
theater like clapped when that happened, when it was the callback to that.
I love the shot like 5 seconds after that where Mike gets blown up and he's just like looking up through the trap door or whatever, and like there's fire all over the place.
They're staring at each other.
He's like surrounded. I thought that was a great shot, and it was like in slow-mo too. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. But they also should have just shot him in the face.
Yeah, they should have never stopped shooting him. They should have just kept pumping.
Because they never actually show him like on fire.
Yeah.
You know there's going to be a sequel.
So moving down the generational, moving down the family tree, like I mentioned earlier, Andy Matchak, I don't even know how you say her name, but she plays Alison, so she's the granddaughter of Laurie Strode in this family, and she's got like a couple of other friends who I definitely want to talk about. So there's her boyfriend, who's played by, I think it might be, it's either Miles Robbins or it's this other guy. I think it's the guy from Blockers this year, but she's got this boyfriend who loves to get drunk at high school dances, which apparently happen on school nights, and throw her phone in punch or dip or something. And then there's also this weird like nerdy character with like a giant forehead who's like creeping on her in a real beta weird way. What do you guys think of like this whole high school act that's going on? This kind of breakfast brat pack.
These are basically besides the girl, these are the people that die in the movie.
Yeah,
it's nice that they brought it back to high school kids to kill for the return of Mike. I don't know. I had no problem with these kids. That one kid was definitely goofy looking, and he was kind of a creepy character in the end.
He looks like on the South Park, You Have No Friends. There's this kid who has Facebook and gets one friend. He looks exactly like that kid.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for like the whole high school dance scene. I thought it was kind of random, especially since you didn't actually get to see like, or I don't know if he ever did, but like her boyfriend, he didn't get killed, which I figured he was a slam dunk to be one of the ones that gets killed.
I think
maybe that was a scene that got cut out of the movie. I don't know.
I think the weak part of this movie is you think some of these characters are going to have bigger parts or something, and I thought these high school kids, like Pat said, that the boyfriend kind of just disappears. He just gets drunk and then we never see him again. I don't know. I like at least kill that kid or something, but
yeah,
he just disappears.
I think
from the movie.
The weird looking kid had I think he had my favorite death in the movie though. That scene with the big sensor lights, that part was awesome.
What happens?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
When he's like, after he tries to make a move on the chick,
she
like says fuck off and she leaves, and Michael Myers slowly creeps behind him, and he thinks it's like the guy who owns the house. And he's just sitting there and he's talking to him, and then the sensor lights go off, and then all of a sudden they pop back up, and he's like right in front of him basically, and you can hear him just, you can hear him fucking breathing, and that part.
Does he end up sticking him on a fence? Isn't that what happens? He like impales him on a spiky fence.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, Mike Myers gets creative in this one too. He impales that kid, and then some other guy, he like, I don't even know how he would go about doing this. He decapitates one of his victims and then like hollows out his skull and then makes it like a jack-o'-lantern and puts it in a car.
Yeah, he puts like a flashlight in there. Yeah, that's
arts and crafts.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike Myers.
As I said, like sitting Indian style, like carving his head like a pumpkin, admiring it.
And then the dad that walks up and checks it out, he's like, "What the heck?"
Idiot. Worst.
And immediately gets killed.
Yeah, he was a dumb character.
There's only one other character I want to talk about. His name's Julian, and he's this little kid who's being babysat.
Oh my god!
What'd you think about him?
He stole the show.
He's like jokes. This is definitely Danny McBride's writing part coming through. It's like joke city with this kid.
When they're talking about the Alakazam or whatever, he's like, "Yo, why are you gonna bring your friends over here and smoke weed?" So he calls her out.
They call it Alakazam. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I thought the kid did a good job, but on the other hand, like, I kind of hate this kind of shit because like the movie just stops to do jokes. Like, it's kind of like the stuff that bothers me in like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where it's just too comedic for my taste. I don't know, Mikey. Did you like it?
I felt like the movie did come to a halt because we are stuck in this house following this kid and this girl around for like the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they aren't part of the movie for the rest of the movie because they die. I don't know. It's just like that thing that this movie does, but they're also killing people, so that's why they're not in the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed like the girl was going to meet up with this girl, and then we'd get a bunch of high school kids running around, but Mike just kind of moves on from group to group of people, so nobody like kind of sticks around too long in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that scene could have benefited from the comedy stopping when Michael Myers, like when they figure out he's in the house.
Oh yeah, the kid's still going.
Yeah.
Even when Michael Myers is like killing his babysitter, he's running downstairs telling her boyfriend that he doesn't like it. Yo, go upstairs, you're gonna die.
Better
like,
get out of here, Dave.
that was funny, but like like you said, it does kind of bother me because, like I said, the movie wasn't as scary as I wanted it to be.
Right.
So I think that scene when they realize somebody else is in the fucking house with them, but they don't know where he is, like that scene could have been really scary. But besides that, that kid was funny as shit.
Yeah. And that's kind of all that I had. The only other thing that I want to talk about too is the score, which we can play a clip of.
Thank you. I was gonna say something
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
John Carpenter, because he also composes a lot of music. If you didn't know that already, but he redid the theme, I think, along with his son for this one, and it's basically the same traditional Halloween theme with maybe like a little bit more up tempo, a little bit more of a driving bass kind of with it too. Do you like it, Pat?
Oh yeah, I was listening to it in the car on the way home.
That's sweet. Yeah.
I watched like a little behind the scenes like featurette about the music with John Carpenter, and there's this one shot where the guy was playing like electric guitar, but he had a violin bow, just like screeching it across the strings, and that was one of my favorite parts about the score. Is it had the classic feel, but with kind of like you said, it had a driving bass undertone that was really like heavy and had those creepy like sounds. Like it was cool.
So any final thoughts from you guys? Anything we didn't talk about that you'd like to bring up?
I thought it was shot really well. There's some really cool looking scenes in here, and we talked about the tracking shots. Mm-hmm. But my favorite shot was when Mike is watching a woman talk on the phone through a window, and you can see his reflection through the window, and then he walks around back and kills the girl, and you can see it all through like the perspective of Mike through the porch window. I thought that was really cool, and there's a lot of different kind of shots like that throughout the whole movie, so yeah, that was really good looking.
That's a good one. And then there's one too with the kid who shoots that innocent man when he's coming around the truck. The camera kind of follows him in the headlights of the truck, and then the kid kind of comes through it.
Oh, that was a great
that's
shot.
right when they first break out of the bus. That's a really cool one too. Anything else we want to address?
I was really kind of confused with like just the very last shot. How they get in the truck and they're driving away, and then it has a really weird tone, and it kind of pans down to the girl holding the knife. Kind of like it's setting something up, and I was just kind of like, what's that all about?
She's got a taste for blood now? She gonna put on that mask?
That's what I was thinking. That's why I was like, because she did like stab that motherfucker at the end. Like she didn't need to, but she went for it like a couple extra times, and it's like, maybe, I don't know what's gonna go on, but unless they're all gonna team up and try to kill him in the next one. But
she's gonna put on that mask.
I don't know.
The world's ready for the Ocean's 8
that was the one last
Halloween
thing I wanted
movies.
to say too, is the mask.
Yeah.
The mask was like perfect. I loved it.
The mask looked great.
Mm.
Yeah, that was really cool.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into yes or no's. I'll go first. It is a soft yes for me. Like I said, I don't have any complaints about the way it was directed. I think the screenplay is okay. I do kind of question the need to have a movie like this, especially when you're just going to retcon out a bunch of the movies that already exist in canon. Like, maybe just come up with a new slasher guy. But regardless, it's a solid movie. I gave it like a 3 out of 5. It's good for this time of year for sure, and I think it does like Pat was saying, it is one of the better Halloween movies for what that's worth. So soft yes for me. Maybe catch it when it gets on VOD or watch it right before Halloween to celebrate. Pat, we'll go with you next. Superhero correspondent / Michael Myers correspondent.
Yeah, it's a yes for me. I was really looking forward to it. I wasn't really disappointed at all. But like I said, it wasn't as scary as I wanted it to be, but at the same time, like I'm such a Michael Myers fan. I was just kind of excited to see him, you know, back in action doing his own thing. So maybe that was part of the reason it wasn't as scary. But yeah, it was good. The score was awesome. Like Mikey said, it was shot really well. I was really impressed to see, you know, David Gordon Green and Dan McBride, how they would handle it. And I think they did really well. So yeah, it's a yes from me.
All right, Mikey. Third.
Yeah, it's a solid yes. Everything we've said, I agree with. I thought the writing could have been better, but it was directed really well, and there's some really cool shots. I thought the new theme is really awesome. I thought it was nice that they retconned all of the other ones, because the other ones are trash, and this is probably the second or first best one. So it's nice that they just totally started over, and if they want to make one last one, just make it an official trilogy. I'm totally fine with that.
And kill that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make it a trilogy and make it official. And then, since this did so well, I'm assuming it's made a bunch of money. They're probably going to make a Jason movie, so that'll be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. It'll probably be bad, and not nearly as good as the Halloween movie. But
and directed by
I
Danny
really like
McBride.
this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this movie was pretty good, and it had no reason to be good. It's a slasher movie, so it could have gone either way, but I thought I liked it.
Nice. Well, there you go. That's 3 yeses. Preserved movie, adding to the ranks of good movies we've seen here in 2018. Superhero / Halloween / slasher correspondent PK. Good to have you back on the podcast. It's been too long since you've been on.
I know, dude. We got some good Marvel movies and superhero movies coming up this coming year, and I'm excited. We got Aquaman.
Oh,
in
we're
December.
doing that for sure.
We got Captain Marvel coming out, and then you know what happens next May or April.
Can't wait. And then let's go ahead and wrap this up. Take it away, Spooky Spoiler Man.
Spoiler Man here. Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is Podcast Spoilers. It's lit. Josh Hensley from the Rutabaga wrote our theme song. Now you can check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Podcasts. If you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe on SoundCloud or iTunes.
Thanks to Ox Animox for the music.